Well, good morning. This is the start of the second full day of competition, and Adam, not too much change at the top of the leaderboard, but South Africa do seem to be losing a bit of their mojo.
Slipped down into 7th place, as we can see here, Dino, and you know, the cracks might be starting to appear for the world champions, because not only have they slipped down, but we can see from this they've made a substitution. So we're going to try and talk to those guys later on and see what's going on in camp, because obviously things are going on. The big story, obviously, is scrolling down here, and we're sorry to tell you guys, there's no England coming up at the moment. So what's your thoughts on that, Dino?
Well, they're in 18th place. They went into last night in 12th place, I think they reported. And the thing is, we go to bed every single night with this really warm feeling in our stomachs, because not one of the teams out there will be fishing harder throughout the whole night than England. And you know, if the fish get on them at some stage, they're going to absolutely tear this place apart. But it just doesn't seem to be happening. And 18th place is certainly not what they came here for.
It's certainly not. We're going to try and find out what's going on, because we've been scratching our heads, haven't we? You know, there's behind the cameras, there's been a lot of angling experience, the crew and the team around and everything, and none of us can quite come up with a reason. Our guys are fishing extremely well, and they can go away proud no matter what happens. But you know, we want to try and somehow get in there and see what is making a difference for these other nations, because to have the other nations, you know, in carp fishing terms, quite small players, nondescript nations in terms of carp fishing, way ahead of us, something is going on, and I think we need to try and examine that as best we can today.
Well, there is a term that we use in fishing an awful lot, that the smallest changes make sometimes the biggest differences. At a World Championships, they make enormous differences, so there has to be something wrong.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, we're going to go to the England camp next. We're going to try and examine the mood, find out what's going on with the boys. Well, we've just come straight from the control tent, Dino, where we've been looking at the scores. Obviously a bit deflated, but overnight the wild boars are starting to put it together. More than 20 fish, we're told.
Yeah, well, they started to get the fish moving on the bait, and they haven't stopped sticking out boilie all the way from the start of the match. And to be honest with you, we knew that any of our England teams, if they get a volume of fish on them, they could amass a big weight. Now, 20 fish in the net, that was weighed in at 9 o'clock. They've already got 5 in the sack as well for the next weigh-in, so it looks very, very good.
It does look really good. And the thing is, you know, we've seen extra bonus fish being nicked on solid bags and so on, but this match was never going to be won like that, was it? This is the game plan, not only the England game plan, but it's exactly how the other leading nations are fishing it.
It is. I mean, they're doing nothing wrong strategically at all, but we've got, what, 25 hours left at the moment, and our team is young, hungry, and if there is a big weight to amass in that next 25 hours, I'd have to put my money on our boys, because they, like I said, they're so young, and look at them, they haven't stopped.
They are absolute machines.
Well, it's the hottest part of the day, which wherever you go in the world is traditionally the most difficult time to get a bite. But the wild boar brothers behind me have not stopped working, and it seems to be paying off. They've had a lot of action today. So I think it's about time that we take a look at the rigs that they're using. So Adam, talk us through the rig that the boys behind us have been using.
Well, mate, this is one that's come straight off their rods, and the first thing you'll notice, it's the same as all the team members are using. So it's a tried and tested, simple, reliable assembly. So if we start down this end with the hook bait, we can see that that's a paste wrap boilie.
Yeah.
The lads are using that for added attraction leak off from the paste.
Yeah, I mean the water's quite coloured, isn't it?
Very
so sight isn't quite as important.
No, it's all about scent, I think. Yeah. And they've got a little dippage of goo on the end there, just for an extra bit of attraction. I think, as you just said, the water's very opaque, so it's all about that maximum attraction on hook bait. So We've got that on a shortish hair to a nice big effective hook, which is a size 4 curve shape hook.
Does that surprise you, the size of the fish? Because we're not catching big fish, 4 or 5 kilo are the biggest.
It's a good point.
Big hooks like that, when they go in, they tend not to come out.
Yeah, not only that, but the fish that we have seen have all got quite large mouths,
For their size. Yeah.
So it's about getting a hold in that big mouth, and as you said, going in and not coming out, because every fish counts. It's got to come into the bank.
Speed as well, isn't it? I mean, they're not playing the fish in.
No, they're not. No. We need to. That's another thing. How the guys are playing their fish is something that we want to have a look at and talk to the guys about, because it's quite unorthodox. Most of the people watching this show will think, that's a bit weird. Yeah. Steve Ringer, of course, will know exactly what it's all about, because it's a style that he uses. But as you rightly said, it's all about getting the fish into the bank. So a big, sharp, strong hook that's going to take a hold, hopefully, in that big mouth. A little shrink tube kicker, just to make that hook turn over and take a hold. And then we've got about 9 inches, I suppose, of a soft coated end trap style hook link, which is coming through to a quick change assembly using a quick link and a loop. And as you all know, match fishing is all about efficiency. Getting that rig changed, getting it off, getting the new one on. You don't want to be tying knots. And as we saw at the start of the match, all the guys have got their rigs ready made up with a loop. So
they've got 4 rods on the go, 4 rods all ready to go behind them as well. Plus with the quick change, it just makes everything so efficient.
Absolutely, and the key is efficiency and a simple, speedy approach. That comes up and terminates with an inline distance lead, which is about 4.5 ounces.
Big lead, isn't it? I mean, they are fishing at range, and with this wind behind us, crosswind, it's quite a thump to get 100 yards.
It's all been about distance this match, Dino, hasn't it? And they're not compromising on lead size. That's going to fly out there. Inline lead, I mean, I think all things being equal, if you do 100 casts with an inline and 100 casts with one on a clip, this will be 100 times no tangle. And again, it's about efficiency. It's about knowing that every time you're fishing, that rig is out there fishing. Yeah. Every now and again, obviously on a lead clip, maybe you might get a little wrap around or something. So I think it's about maximum efficiency at all times. So we've got a tail rubber on the back of that lead, and then a length of dark matter tungsten tubing just to keep everything nailed down, and a 30-pound armour cord leader, which you're going to need, aren't you? I mean, they're whacking it.
Absolutely, and with the lack of stretch, or the zero amount of stretch in the armour cord leader, everything you put into that rod on the cast, you get out at range.
Absolutely. And I think the last thing to note, obviously our guys, all the guys in the team are using this kind of presentation, but as we've walked round and had a good look at the other teams, they're all fishing a similar, almost identical setup as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. So and they've got much more experience on this lake than us as well. So it's an effective rig that's at the moment working very well for the boys behind us.
Absolutely. We're here at the bottom end of C section, and we're in with the world champions. The manager, Johan, is going to talk to us now. So at the moment, Johan, you're in 6th place.
That's correct, yes. We were in 7th place this morning. We moved up 1 position to 6th. In this sector, we are in the 5th place currently, but I think with the weigh-in that we just had here, 46 kilograms, we may move up 1 more position in this sector. We had a look at the results this morning, and we worked out some permutations in all 3 the different sectors, and we are very confident that we can move into the medals, into 3rd position. We have worked out in this sector, if we can catch up 5-6 kilograms per weigh-in, we worked out there may be about 5 more weigh-ins ahead before the end of the competition.
Right.
Then we can definitely move up, and in the B sector, if we can catch up 4 kilos per weigh-in, and in the A sector also about 8 kilos per weigh-in, we can definitely move into the medals. And at this stage, that is our goal, to try to move into a medal position.
Absolutely. Now, that's fantastic management. You know exactly where you are, what you need to achieve to move yourselves up, which we'd expect nothing less from a team as successful as you guys. There's a couple of other things I'd like to ask you. Now, you made a substitution this morning?
Yes. What we decided yesterday, all the information we got from this specific peg is that this is a peg that produces lots of fish in the last 24 24 hours, especially tonight and tomorrow morning early. So already tomorrow, yesterday morning, we made the decision that the one angler on this spec last night must fish right through the night and give GP a chance to sleep. And this morning at 7 o'clock, Dean had a nice sleep last night. We will put him on the peg, and then he must be fresh and fish right through tonight. Okay. In order to give GP another little chance to sleep. So we think that the fresh legs and the continuation on the peg, as far as fitness and alertness is concerned, will give us the best possible chance to catch up on this peg.
Great tactics, love the thinking behind that, Johan. And of course, you know, we're in the last 24-hour section of this match, and you guys are famed for coming on really strong at the end. So hopefully the tactical change you've made will help that, and I wish you all the luck.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Down here in C9, as you can see from me behind me, guys. Big round of applause, loads of people, proper melee of activity, you know. The spectators are here watching the real show that's being put on by the home nation. The Romanians are putting on a massive charge to consolidate their lead position. Over my left shoulder is Dino. He's waiting to get a word with them. Can't even do the interview at the moment because the fish are coming thick and fast.
Now, one of the most significant changes within Team England happened yesterday when Jack and Kia came out and Billy and Jamie went in. Kia, tell us how you felt at that particular time.
A little bit gutted, I must admit, but at the end of the day, that's the management's decision, and I was all up for it. You know, we came here as a team, and you know that's what it's all about. You know, we stuck to the plan. We tried everything within the plan and more, and the only thing we thought we may be lacking was a bit of distance. And you know, Jamie's sort of.
He's a bruiser, isn't he?
He's a bruiser, mate, and he's up there with the best casters in the team. Yeah. If not the best. So you know, we brought him in to see if it would make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, you said team there. One thing that I really noticed when I was there was that you kept sticking baits out, you kept feeding the swim, you kept your rods out, and helped everyone change over right to the end. So I mean, the team atmosphere is very good. But I mean, what have you done since then? Because your role isn't finished, is it?
Oh no, mate. We've been, you know, behind all the other anglers, making sure they're all right. You know, sort of giving them a bit of momentum when it's not going well. You know, and being there when it is going well. You know, keeping them G'd up.
I mean, only six get to fish at a time, but it really is a team of 8.
Oh, definitely. And you're never gonna get anywhere with just a team of 6, I don't think, which has been proven in the past.
Superb. Well, I know you're a very, very busy man. It's not all doom and gloom. I heard you had a good meal last night and a few hours sleep. And personally, I think you should be very, very proud of your efforts. So I know you're 2 very busy men. You're going to aid to the team. So I'll let you crack on. So we're finally back in Sector C. and we're with the Romanians. Mircea, you're the Romanian team captain, and going into 20 hours to go, it's very, very close between Romania and Bulgaria.
Yes, it is. Not only Bulgaria, there are also countries who are coming fast. South Africa, especially on this sector, we watched them wait, the last wait, and they are coming very strong.
Yeah.
On this sector at least. Bulgaria, it comes slowly, but now it's on this sector it's number 2. On the CA sector it's number 2,
Yes.
and on the B sector it's number 2. So it's very, very close right now.
So you have 2 teams that are winning sectors, Sector A and Sector C, I
At this
believe.
moment, yeah.
And which is a fantastic result. And from the off, actually, you had quite a slow start, so you really have built the swims. And one thing that has really impressed me is your swims. You're not hiding anything. It's completely open. You're doing it in front of so many eyes. What is the secret? I'm going to ask the question. What's the secret?
No secret. In the beginning, when we were here at the national championship,
Yes.
we are trying to hide it, we are trying to do that, and we noticed that it's more pressure, and,
Yes.
more worries. So the secret is that the guys are very well together.
Yes.
And they are, I can say for them, they are excellent anglers.
Yes.
And of course, it's an advantage that we were fishing here for maybe 4 times before,
Yes.
but that is also, they are not secrets. That's why we leave everything open. You can notice that the main line is not complicated, and
Yes.
everything gets.
It looks very simple, actually, to the rigs that we looked at that the English team and a lot of the teams are using. I mean, they are on show there, the baits, the rigs, the lead system. I mean, it's very, very simple, but you are fishing extremely effectively.
Yeah, one of it's also the bait that we are using. We are using a bait that we created and
Yes.
we developed it, and especially on this lake we have nice results with it. So maybe but I think 80% are the guys,
Right.
because they are very, very, very. I don't know how to say it, but
They're professionals. They're good.
professionals. You,
So with
you
20
can see that with your eyes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah. They are fantastic, and they're whacking it an awful long way. With 20 hours to go and a very, very tight competition, what do you do now? How, as team captain, how do you spread your time amongst all 3 teams?
We also have on the other sectors another second captain that it's on A sector. We are trying to split. We are trying to go to see the Bulgaria, for example, who's very close to us. But mainly we are more in. The important thing is to be here in our picks, in
Yes.
our stands, because you have to give support, you have to give morale, you have to be. They've been almost I don't know 40 something hours, maybe 50 hours, 50 and something hours,
Yes.
and when they fish, they don't get rest very often. I mean, almost at all. They are used to that because we are used to fish.
Yes.
I told you about Brashov and all the lake there. We have endurance competition, and
Yes.
we are used to fish for 72 hours.
So you really have prepared for this endurance-wise, bait-wise,
Yeah.
rig-wise. You've got the anglers. You feel it's going to go right down to the wire? It's not going to be a whitewash for Romania?
I don't know. Right now, I don't know.
Right.
We are taking every weight by the time. We are waiting the next one. We are trying to see how it goes. We cannot pronounce now anything. I mean, it would not be fair for other teams to say,
Yes.
because it's not. As you can see, there are no difference. The only difference that is right now between us and Bulgaria are the kilos that we accumulated.
Yes.
In case of we have tie score, that thing is gonna separate us in winners. But it's still time, 20 hours. I was talking, I also talked with you guys, and I also talked with the guys from South Africa.
Yes,
and I
yes.
told them that on this lake, everything can change in hours.
Wow.
I also talked with the boys from England last night on
Yes.
A sector. I told them the same thing. In this lake, we saw it. We felt it on our skin, if I may say
Yes,
so,
yes.
that the lake can change. Everything can change in a matter of hours.
Cool.
And
Well-
everything started relaxed, and now at the end you see that everything.
Well, I can see the tension
Yeah,
building with
exactly.
20 hours to
Of
go.
course
You're a
it's
very
tension.
busy man, as are the 2 anglers behind me, and you've got quite a crowd as well. So I'll shake your hand, I'll wish you the best of luck, and let's
Thank
hope
you
there's a
very
big
much.
Romanian party at the end of tomorrow evening.
Let's hope so. Thank you very much.
sun is just beginning to set. I'm here in C section, peg number 13, with Doncho Petrov. Thank you for talking to us, Doncho.
No problem.
Bulgarian captain. Now, the Bulgarians have been up here right at the forefront of this event for the last few days now. You've been doing well, but now it's getting really close. And I can tell you, we've just come from the Romanians, and they're getting a bit nervous. It's getting a little bit too close for comfort for them. They're a little bit scared, and they're wondering what's going to happen, because you guys are pushing it really, really close. So what's going on?
So until the moment, especially for this lake, it was very hard for any other team from other country to become close, even close to the Romanians.
Right.
But
Why do you think that is?
well, what the reason is, we prepared for this competition very long. We started in the spring. We took participation here of the Rig Cup.
Yes, yeah.
Twice
I heard about that, yeah.
we were here in the spring, and after that in August. So we have maybe a little bit more information than the other teams.
Lots of preparation, lots of
Yes,
work.
a lot of work for 4 months
Right, okay.
approximately. So we managed to choose the right bait, which is very important here. I think this is the most important.
You think this match was all coming down to bait?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
very interesting.
Also, the fishing is very intensive here, so the technique and preparation of the team should be very high level. There is no time to lose. Everything should be like a machine done. Everything should
absolutely.
be in very
Total efficiency.
Yes, yes, yes. So you don't have to waste time for baiting, throwing the rods. Everything should be very
Absolutely, yeah.
done very sharp.
You mentioned bait there, Doncho. It seems from what we've seen, the guys who are doing really well, your team, the Romanian team, and one or two others are using a bait which has been developed for this lake. And it seems, from what we can tell, that it doesn't matter what bait you have, if it's not that bait, then you're not going to be doing quite as well as you guys.
More or less it is like that, but also other teams got Romanian bait from local companies which are very good here.
Right. Because the fish see an awful lot of it.
Yes, it is
Okay.
like that, but they are not doing so well,
Okay.
I can say.
Right.
So maybe it's not the only reason, but it's the main reason
But a
to
big
be
part.
in the first three, let's
Okay.
say.
Now, all three sections are very, very important. You have made big improvements in A section. You told me, what was your improvement in A section from yesterday
So
to
from
today?
yesterday to today we took 4 places up.
Okay, and in B section?
In B section also from 5th to 1st place.
From 5th to 1st. This is what's got the Romanians running
Yes, yes,
scared.
yes,
Okay, and obviously a few other people. So you consolidate in a strong position, and going into the last 20 hours, the sun's going down now, it's the final night. Do you make any substitutions?
Yes, today we made one substitution here because our competitors were very tired. Until today here was the greatest catch. We
Right,
had more
okay.
than 200 kilograms. So
So
we
replacing
try
to keep
replace,
the
yes,
energy.
some fresh blood here.
Okay.
But this night will be very important. This will be the night that will decide what will happen tomorrow.
Fantastic.
This
Okay,
is
so
very
this
important.
is what a big tournament should be. A
Yes.
couple of big nations competing in, where you're going right down to the wire. We can't wait to see what happens, and really do wish you a lot of luck going into this night. And we
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you
Thank
for
you very
talking to
much.
us. Well, Dino, what a lovely, lovely spot and a beautiful view. Going into this, the final night, it does look like the sun is setting on England's chances of doing anything in this event. Hugely disappointing. But there is a fight going on, isn't there?
There is, yeah, Romania and Bulgaria. It does look like it's going to go down to the wire, and we spoke to them both today, and Romania are getting very, very twitchy, which I think bodes well for a cracking ending to a fantastic competition.
Yeah, and absolutely. And a big tournament should be about a battle, shouldn't it? You never want to see someone do a whitewash like we had in the end of the World Cup, for example. It's sometimes a little bit deflating. So if we see this through to a big war through to the end, then that's what we want. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of hoping the Romanians just edge it.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm looking forward to a massive party at the end of tomorrow, and I think if they do win it, then we're in for one hell of a treat.
Yeah, my sentiments exactly. Well, the sun's dropping now. Time to get out of here. The mosquitoes are coming. I'll race you back to the hotel
I
for a
fancy
beer.
a beer.
Now the final end of match flares have just gone off on the opposite bank, signalling the end of this 72-hour event. Dino, it feels a little bit like an anticlimax because no one knows exactly who has won just yet.
Exactly, the team event is still very, very close between Romania and Bulgaria, and we'll find them results out in HQ a little bit later on. But I have to say, the team behind us from Romania in Section C, it looks like they're individual world champions, and they have fished an absolutely flawless match. But I think the next place we need to go is over to HQ to find out those team results.
Find out if they've got individual and team. That would be an amazing result, wouldn't it?
It would, and they thoroughly deserve it. They've been flawless.
Brilliant. The rest of the teams and the delegates are just filing into this building for the announcement of the results. It's clear now that Romania have won this event. I'm here with the president, the main man from Rig Service, who staged this whole event. This is Florin Kostoica. Thank you very much for talking to us, Florin.
Thank you. You come here.
Amazing.
Was amazing.
Yeah, the show that you have put on for us has been incredible, but I want to talk a little bit about the preparation that you have made for this event. Now, the Lake Corbu, I think everybody would agree, is the fairest venue we have ever seen in these championships. So how much fish have you put into this lake to make that happen?
I put the fish in this year around 100 tons, but I have the fish before. In total now I have in this lake around 400 tons per 400 hectares. 1 ton per hectare. Means okay, like
yeah, 1 ton per hectare.
Yes.
That's within regulations, but very good stocking
yes,
level. Okay.
yeah.
Well, we've seen that the fish are very
I discuss
healthy.
now about carp because I have in lake many other fish like a pike,
species. Okay.
whales.
Well, you're dead. It's carp that we're interested in here. So
yes, carp.
In terms of the preparation of the venue, aside from the fish, you've built these amazing platforms.
Yes, we start in 15th February in this year because the lake was wild, like a pampas was there.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, with many vegetations and hills,
Very
rocky
overgrown.
hills. Yes, very overgrown. And when our federation said, Florin, you have to organize here because they choose my offer, I said, okay, I will make there. But when they come and with all the regulation, federation for tips, I said, oh, it's not like I thought.
Okay, right. So
Was
then the work really
very hard
Yeah.
because you have to respect all the distance. The pontoons has special area.
Okay, so
Yes,
just
the
give us an
roads,
idea
the
how much gravel did you have to bring in to build those swims around the lake?
Yes, and I started to build the pontoons in the water.
Yeah.
I spent around 1,500 cubic meters wood and around
How many tons of gravel?
Sorry?
How many tons of gravel?
Oh, gravel, that I will tell you now. I spent around 100,000 tons of gravel.
Of stones?
Yeah, of
Right,
stones. Of
okay,
stones. Yes.
okay.
Yes, but we make the roads on the water. You see,
Yes.
we cut the vegetation. We make many things because I move also the electrical line because I have the one bird. I have 1 kilometer electrical line,
Right,
and
okay.
I put under
Under the surface
yes,
of the lake.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So basically, we can see that no expense has been spared. You were from the beginning. You were determined to do the very best show, the best lake, the best preparation,
Yes,
the best
that
swims.
I put also. You see, we have that small houses on the pontoons. We have umbrellas. We have the ecological toilets, showers. There,
The sleeping
you see,
areas,
sleeping
everything is
yes,
arranged.
that
Well,
small houses I told you.
if your objective was to make this event the best we have ever seen, then I can tell you you've
Thank you.
absolutely
Thank you.
succeeded
Thank
in
you.
that.
Thank you.
And we really look forward to seeing you tonight when your team collects the trophies. A fantastic achievement. Very big
that was
congratulations.
what I follow.
Right,
To show Romania is a good country, 2,000 years history, culture and tradition.
Well.
You see also our party with traditional
Well, we look forward
Romanian
to the party.
food,
and
Romanian drink,
fantastic.
and music. Thank
You've
you very
really
much.
succeeded. Thank you very much for talking to us.
guys, we are back at HQ, and Adam, this is much more like the Oscars than any fishing competition I've ever been to. The show the Romanians have put on has been absolutely phenomenal, isn't it?
It has, mate, from start to finish. And this is glorious. It's more like Miami than Mamaia. And here it's going to unfold because we do know that we've got new world champions. South Africa outside all 3 medal places. They're not going to get anything this time. Makes a little bit of a change. And we're going to have new world champions. Is it going to be Bulgaria? Is it going to be Romania? There wasn't much between them when we looked last, but they're going to announce it in just a minute. So this is where it's at.
And the winner is, ladies and gentlemen, Romania!
So after 4 world titles on the bounce, Johan, unfortunately it has to come to an end for everybody. How's your feelings after 72 hours of pretty tough conditions?
Yes, absolutely. As you say, rightly, it had to come to an end. No sport team or even a sport person can keep on winning all the time. You know, our team was always prepared for the day that we will not win again, absolutely. You know, that's just reality, that's sport. And you know, for us it's just an honor and a privilege to participate in the sport. It's a passion for us. You know, we come all the way from South Africa, very far, lots of expenses that we have to carry ourselves. And it's just a privilege for us to be here and to be part of this. And although we did not win, you know, earlier today a person from another country asked me, how did I feel that we lost? And we definitely did not lose. You know, we came
fished
fifth.
well, and you was in contention early on as well.
Yes, no, that's very true. You know, we came 5th overall. Yesterday morning we were lying in the 7th position, and we took a close look at everything and to try and establish where we could improve, and we tried our best. But at the end of the day, you know, on this specific competition, this specific lake, our best was just not good enough, and there were other teams that were on this competition definitely better than us. And you know, congratulations to them.
Absolutely.
You know, they deserve all the honor that they get and all the praise that they get. They were fantastic in quite difficult conditions, and we are very glad for them.
That is very, very humble. And to be honest, I'd expect no less from 4-time world champions. Where do you go from here? In fact, I've got to say this first, actually. We have a saying in England, you don't become a bad athlete overnight, and certainly I don't feel you become a bad angling team overnight, so I'm sure you'll bounce back. But how do you bounce back? What's the rebuilding process going to be?
Yes, that's a very interesting question, and something that we still have to think about long and hard. But we've already got certain ideas that we want to do when we're back in South Africa. Obviously, you always have to get perspective before you do anything. You cannot act on emotions. That's always the wrong thing to do. So what we intend to do is go back home, go back to our families. You know, the build up to this has been a roller coaster ride, emotionally, everything. You know, it's always a big thing for us. So we have to go back home, go back to our families, get perspective, and in a 2 or 3 weeks' time, we'll get together again, the management of the South African Federation of Carp Angling, and then we will decide. You know, as you say rightly, our athletes are still very, very good. There's no doubt about that. We've got 100% confidence in them. It's just on this competition, everything just didn't gel for us, yes. You know. And you know, that happens, and we are definitely not in ashes, not at all. You know, we believe that we can still win, and we believe that even in this venue that was quite technical and difficult for us, with a little better preparation we could have done better. We could have been in the medals, but you know, that's how life is, and we are definitely going to come back with a bang. We are already looking forward to Portugal next year. 3 of the current members in the team, 4 of us in actual fact, myself included, was participating in Portugal at the same venue at Montargil in 2004 and in 2006. So we do have a little bit of information on the lake and on the venue. And we are already planning to come for a practice. Some of our equipment that are here in Romania at the moment, about half of it is going back to South Africa, and the other half is going straight through to Portugal already.
So it starts straight away, 12 months
It starts straight away
tomorrow.
And we are going to start with it immediately, and we will definitely be back and doing our best again.
Superb. Well, from a spectator and from a fishing fan, I'd have to shake your hand and say you've conducted
Thank you,
yourself
sir.
spectacularly,
Appreciate.
and I look forward to 2013 because I really do think you're going to be a power.
We will definitely be there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Ian, Pete, desperately not the result we wanted, and I can't imagine how disappointed you guys must be feeling, because it's been a long journey, and as I said, it's not the result you wanted. So what are you going to take away from this?
Well, it's unfortunate, really disappointed for the team actually, because they were well capable of doing the deal here, and
I totally agree with that.
They trained hard, and I mean, you've looked at most of the competitors while you've been here, and the work ethic of these guys is second to none. It's just a shame that due to circumstances we couldn't compete really.
You just are you being diplomatic there, Ian? What kind of circumstances are we talking about now?
Well, the lake has been conditioned to a certain type of bait, and we're obviously English, and we use English type baits, and we just were caught unawares really with what was needed.
Okay, well it sounds like that could have probably happened to just about any team. Ian, I think it's fair to say obviously Team England has got a main bait sponsor, and most of your bait came from them, but I know you brought out baits from various other leading English manufacturers, and all of these have been tried and used at various stages and nothing worked. Is that true?
Yeah, I think the type of bait we bought was the traditional English baits, and they work all over the world and have done for all our years. Yeah. And we've never known them not work. But these fish have been, as I said, conditioned to take a certain type of bait, and unfortunately, their bait just dominated. It's put in the lake full time, and the fish really...
They recognise it as natural food, would you say?
Definitely. And we really struggled to get bites, and despite all the work effort from the guys, it just wasn't happening. And we weren't really in the races.
Well, absolutely, and it was a battle really which couldn't be won, and it became evident early on. And credit to the team and to you guys, you kept fighting. You never stopped trying to find out what was going on. But ultimately, really, nothing was going to work except the bait that these fish seem to have been reared on. I just want to touch a little bit on the team, how difficult that must have been for a young team to cope with really kind of being played off the park by anglers who maybe weren't on the same level in some ways. So do you think they showed a great maturity in coping with that?
Yes, to be honest with you, they did. They showed they were very, very mature. The performance was impeccable. We cannot fault what the anglers actually did. The anglers certainly weren't at fault. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they did nothing but try. And we were so impressed with that. Overwhelmingly impressed, to be quite honest with you. They were absolutely magnificent, and without doubt, I would put these lads up against anybody.
I think almost in loss they've shown a depth of character that you may have never seen if we had won it.
We've had a massive
something else out.
Yes, sorry to interrupt, but what we've had a massive unity here within this team. Something, because obviously Ian and myself, we fished this team for like 5 years. The unison we've got now with these young lads, it's a bond, and they've got a really, really good bond between themselves. And also, we've also got a bond between us and them. It's not an us and them. We are starting to become a team now, and with a bit of luck, we can take this thing forward.
Well, I'm absolutely sure you can, and I think that's something that, Ian, a lot of people have been saying, that the cohesion, the bonding, the team spirit, the morale, the camaraderie, all of those adjectives, they all apply to the team right now. It's a new era, isn't it?
Yeah, all the building blocks are in place. This just wasn't the platform for us to show what we can do, and that's where everybody's hurting. The guys, as you said before, but they're really hurting as we speak. But they're putting on a show and putting a brave face on the outcome. But when you've sort of trained all year for this, it's disappointing that you just didn't really compete.
I think the guys behind the scenes watching this programme will find it hard to appreciate the level of commitment and training that you have put into this. As you just mentioned, and I know I can speak on your behalf. It has been absolutely enormous, and to have a failure based on something pretty much unforeseen. Now, I think it would be very unfair and harsh for anyone to say, didn't see that coming, but really, you know, we're English anglers. We're reasonably good at what we do, and we brought out some really good baits, and there is nothing you can do in the face of something where fish have been conditioned or reared to only eat a particular kind of bait. The guys I would liken to Hodgson's Team England. You know, you've got a newly formed team with a bright future, a new era as far as I see it, and under you guys I really believe we're going to go far and win these matches in future. So good luck, go away, regroup, reform, take a break, because I know you put heart, soul into this, and the boys have too, and we look forward to seeing you on the world stage again next year.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
Well guys, how about that? I'm sure all of you watching at home will agree that tonight the world champions Romania have put the mania into Romania.
Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure, not just being here to watch the match, which was phenomenal, but the show that they've put on from start to finish has been absolutely spectacular. All I can say is roll on 2013, but for now, I'm going to enjoy the fireworks and have a good beer with my mate.
Well done, fella.
And you.